Hola queridos amigos, bienvenidos a una discusión internacional que está dedicada
Greetings,
a
dear
la
viewers.
conferencia
Welcome to the
pasada que
international
se llama Crisis
discussion
Global, la
dedicated to
hora
the
de la
last
verdad.
conference called Global Crisis, Time
Hola
for the
queridos
Truth.
amigos, queremos
Hello, dear
contarles
friends. We
de la
would like
última
to tell you
conferencia,
about the conference
180
that
países,
took place.
traducido
It was held
simultáneamente
in
en 100 idiomas,
180 countries,
donde
interpreted simultaneously into 100
los temas
languages.
de
We
crisis
talked about
ecológica,
the
crisis
environmental
climatológica y
crisis, the
también
climate
hablamos del
crisis,
el
and also
formato de
about the
consumo.
consumerism format and
También
how we can
cómo
effectively
poder
build a
construir
creative society these
efectivamente una
days.
sociedad creativa en nuestros días.
Sí. Muchas gracias a nuestros invitados por unirnos hoy y poder hablar juntos sobre los temas que
We
hablamos
want
en
to
la
thank our
conferencia
guests for
pasada el
joining us
4 de
today so that
diciembre
we
y
can
hoy
talk together
tenemos
about
al
the
doctor
topics that
Salah
we
Araf
discussed at
de
the conference
Egipto,
on
el
December the 4th.
profesor de la
Our guests
Universidad
today
Americana
are
de Cairo,
Dr. Salah Arafa
y
from
a
Egypt, a professor at the
Susan
American
Gonzalez
University in
Franco,
Cairo, and Susan
participante del
Gonzalez
proyecto social
Franco,
creativo de
a
Paraguay.
participant of the Creative
Mucho
Society project
gusto,
from
gracias por
Paraguay.
unirse.
Nice to meet
El
you.
doctor
Thank you
Salah,
for
por favor,
joining
si
us.
nos
And our
puede
first
contar
question to Dr.
su
Salah, please
impresión,
tell us
su
about your
experiencia
impressions after watching
después
the
de ver la
conference
conferencia
Global Crisis,
Crisis Global, la hora
Time
de
for
la
the
verdad,
Truth.
por favor.
Well, I am impressed with the creative society effort and with this type of conference to really make time for acting and time to really share together the responsibility of acting. As I said, I have been in the work with civil society all over, from Egypt to Africa to some of the Arab countries and even in Europe. And I can tell you that there is a need, a vital need, to really make this discussion as community-based, not only in the media, not in a conference where only professors and high people are really talking together, but we need to go down to the small villages and the small communities far away from even this civil society contacts. We need to open discussion with all the stakeholders, including those who know and those who does not know. If we can look around and join hands together, I think this is a time to act, and this is a time to see together that we are all responsible and we should really put our hands together. And the only thing that we need to do, and I need the help of the creative society to produce what is needed, is really to transfer knowledge and appropriate technologies that's from where it is existing, from where it is produced, and these are available, you all know, to where it is needed. The small rural communities, small desert communities, which is scattered. If I talk about Egypt, 90% of our land is desert. And there are at least 30,000 small communities in that desert. No knowledge, no appropriate technologies, and more pollution of our earth. So we need really to get together. We need to put our hands together. We are all responsible, and we need to do it better than we are doing it now. Thank you.
Doctor Salah, Queremos también invitar que compartan sus ideas.
Thank you,
Liz.
Dr. Salah.
Liz,
We would also like to invite
danos
Liz
tu
to share her
impresión de la
thoughts.
última conferencia.
Liz, please tell us about your impressions of the conference.
A la hora de la verdad, porque
Yes, well,
sé que a mí
I
me gusta que
joined
todos sepan sobre la sociedad creativa, sobre lo que te quiere, lo que los profetas
I
soñaron.
joined the Creative
También
Society
la sociedad
project
consumista por la sociedad
because I know
creativa.
that it is
Y como
important
estamos en el
and
momento de
it's very
informar a las
necessary for everyone
personas,
to learn about the Creative
poder
Society.
llegar a mucha
It is what
gente, a
people
todas las
want,
personas
what
que se
the
pueda
prophets
llegar,
dreamed
por
of.
eso me uní,
It is
porque
to
entiendo
change the
que
consumer
en esta
society into the
conferencia se
creative
habló
society.
realmente de la
And since we
realidad
are at the
de
stage of
nuestro
informing
planeta, de la
people,
realidad de
this
nuestra
can reach a
sociedad,
lot of people,
de la
the
política,
maximum
la
number.
religión.
So I
Y
joined
fue muy
because I
importante
understand that at this
esa
conference,
unión,
we really
ver diferentes personas que se unieron de
we
nivel
really were talking
político,
about the reality
religioso,
of our
de
planet, the realities
diferentes
of our society,
culturas,
politics, religion, and it was
reinas,
very important that different people came
eso es algo
together
muy
from different
importante
political,
y ya
religious,
es un
cultural
gran
levels.
paso que nos
Even the
une,
Queen was there.
que
In my
nos
opinion,
une
it
a
was very
todos
important.
y
It's
que
very important and
debemos
it's already a big
propagar,
step that
debemos
brings us
informar y llegar
together.
a más
It brings
personas
us all together
para
and we
conocer
have
esta
to
sociedad
spread it,
creativa.
inform and reach more people so that the creative society
Que es importante transmitir la
is
información, es
known.
importante difundir la idea sobre la sociedad creativa para unir a todas las
Yes,
personas.
it is
Y
really
es
very important
este cambio del formato
to
que nos
unite
permite crear las
people
condiciones en las
and to
cuales
spread this
nosotros podemos
information.
implementar las tecnologías que ya
Y
existen
también
y podemos
necesitamos,
hacer
y-
incluso
and
convertir los
we
desiertos en
also should
jardines.
implement these
Podemos cambiar
technologies that
muchas
we
cosas,
have,
simplemente necesitamos
and
mucho
so that we
el
could
cambio del
convert
formato
these
para
deserts
poner
into
en el
gardens.
primer lugar la vida humana y no el dinero,
And
no los
we really all
intereses
want to
de
live in the
algunas,
society where, in the
algunos
first place, there
grupos
would
de
be a
personas,
human
lo que
life
podemos
and
ver
not
hoy en día.
the
Y un tema
society where
también importante que fue
it's only
tocada
the
en la
money that rules
conferencia
everything.
fue sobre los refugiados.
And
Aquí la
also,
verdad
we were
es que los
talking about
refugiados pueden ser
refugees in the
de
conference.
diferentes razones, sí,
And
políticos,
the truth
etcétera,
is that
sociales,
this is the
pero
most
nuestro
vulnerable
tiempo también
part of our
muestra
society,
que
of people
cada día hay más
who
refugiados
lives on this
climáticos. Es
planet.
decir, que el
And the
clima
problem
puede
is
vivir
that
en
every
cualquier
day
casa, en
there
cualquier
are more and
lugar,
more people
sin
who
preguntar, digamos, y
convert
no importa
into
de qué país eres, de qué
refugees.
nacionalidad, religión, de qué estatus social, etcétera. Y es por eso el
And
problema es tan
we
grave,
understand
porque
that this
los
climate
refugiados
change
son
make
lamentablemente
people
son las personas que tienen
refugees
menos
because
derecho,
for
menos
climate it
posibilidades que se puede
doesn't matter
imaginar.
where do you live,
Y
what
invitamos a
language do you
todos a ver
speak, and
ahora
so on.
un
So it
corto
just come
video,
to
un
your
fragmento
home
de la
and it
conferencia que
can
se
ruin your
titula La
life.
hora de la
And
verdad sobre los refugiados.
that let's see the video.
Why is there such inhuman treatment of people? I was thinking about it and decided to figure it out.
You will never spend a month without being attacked with a xenophobic attack, because they say as a foreigners we are stealing their work. I've lost that hope of being in the great society. I don't know, I've lost that hope because seeing the way that people are being killed, seeing the way that people are being shot in my eyes.
A child can be sold many times. I remember one day I came across the story of a girl who was, she was Turkish. She had been sold 17 times, and she had been trafficked from one country to another 17 times, and she had experienced only rape.
I also sat in many auctions as a customer, as an undercover when I was doing the undercover. We were sitting for the auctions, 9-year-old girl, 10-year-old girl, as per the demands. So the trade called the first time sex. Whenever the auctions will happen, new girls arrive in the trade, so they put the auctions. So who will bid the last demand? The money. That person only will use that big him full night for his choice.
The business that is made of spare parts, the human spare parts. How many children have been transferred from one place to another and then being operated on for some rich guys in different parts of the world to get a kidney or get something else from their bodies against their will.
Black market, traffickers, mafia is part of this economy that is ruling the world. So what else I can say? That I only see that another possibility is to spend money instead of constructing walls like we are doing in Europe.
In our society, human life has no value. How is it possible that instead of help, people encounter violence, aggression, abuse, and slavery? This is not a migration crisis, but this is a crisis of humaneness.
People, by looking at the existing legal frame, will not ever be entitled asking for protection. Because you will ask them which country you're coming from, they will say there is no country. I had a country called X, but the country now is underwater. Or I had a village and this village is being totally destroyed or disappearing.
It turns out that there are still no effective programs for the resettlement of refugees. For so many years, the United Nations has been working. For so many years, the Refugee Rights Commission has been working. So many humanitarian organizations and NGOs around the world have been working, but there are no working, established or adopted programs on how to work with these refugees. There are none, and the Refugee Commission itself admits this.
Now refugees are forced to leave their homes. They face condemnation and cruelty. They are left alone with their misfortune because of the consumerist format of society. Tomorrow's climate catastrophes could be upon us as well. Answer yourself honestly. Are you ready to face what refugees face? Are you sure you won't be in their shoes? That you and your loved ones won't have to go through what they're going through.
Lo que estamos viendo y lo que estamos enfrentando hoy en día como
What we're seeing and what we're facing today as a society, as a civilization, is a lot of problems. Refugees is one of them, and it shows that we are not only in an ecological and climate crisis, but also a crisis of humanity. And this is something that we all have to work on, all of us, together. And the only way to do it is in the format of the creative society. I would like to give the floor to Dr. Salah to give us his comments on this video.
Okay, and thank you because I have to leave in 5 minutes. First, I congratulate you and Creative Society for this conference and for the video. And I would ask officially now that I would need to receive this video, and I would do all my best to transfer it into Arabic. So it would be sent to every civil society that they can speak Arabic, and to really give them the knowledge that it is not only in the Arab countries, but in many other countries, including the developed countries as well. I think what we need to tell people that we are all responsible. It's time to act, and I think we need to put our hands together to really make it a better world and a better planet. Thank you.
Sí, muchas gracias. La verdad es que eso es lo que podemos hacer hoy, es transmitir el mensaje, difundir la información y mostrar que lo que está pasando realmente.
Thank you very much. This is really something that we can do today. It's getting the word out to people to spread the information and to show that what's happening really affects everyone, because it affects all of us. And thanks to volunteers from all over the world, we have the conference and all the videos of the conference also simultaneously interpreted into many languages, including Arabic. We are grateful to the team of Arabic-speaking volunteers who joined and who were really very inspired, knowing that there is a way out, which is the creative society. And that's what we have to do, share this information so that everyone knows that there is a way out, there is a solution, and it is a creative society. And with all the crises that we are in, we still have the opportunity to change the world, to save all of us, to unite. Thank you very much. And now we can ask and give the floor to Liz, because Liz also, we know that she knows very well what it is like to participate in the Creative Society project, because Liz also participated in it as a Guarani language interpreter. So Liz, you were the only person to translate, to interpret all those hours at the conference into Guarani. Could you share your experience on how to act as a team? Because you were also supported by the technical team and everyone else, so also you could tell about the importance of sharing this information in many languages so that as many people as possible could learn about it. Well, Anna and Nico, I joined the conference because this is something very important for everybody, for all of humanity, not just for some people. It's about being aware of the real situation, and I joined that. I said, I'm joining this because I see this. This is what's happening. So how can I help? What can I do? And what needs to be done? And what could be done? What can I do? And so, as looking for people who can translate into Guarani, oh, great, that's my language. In my country, we speak Spanish and Guarani, or a mixed language, if I may say so. So, because I don't speak Guarani that well, but I wanted to pass it on. I wanted to share it so that it would reach more people, so that more people would know what's really going on in this world, and the thing that the official media doesn't tell us. And I wanted to make everyone aware, to touch their hearts a little bit. How many people in the world are going through so much, through so many things, and we don't realize it. We're not conscious, we are not aware of it, we don't see it. And then how can we become conscious if we don't know about it? So I wanted more people to become aware of it at the same time. And I also learned more and saw more things during the broadcast. And I also saw things that I didn't know before. And I'm learning. I'm still learning and seeing more things, a lot more real information about what's really going on. And I want this information to reach people, to all people, that there is a way out of this situation, out of all the bad things that we are going through. There's a situation, there's a way out, which is the creative society. And that's what I want to get across to everyone. This is why I joined the conference Global Crisis Time for the Truth. Thank you, Liz, for conveying this truth in Guarani, and not just Guarani, because I know that you also talk to a lot of people in English and in other different languages to spread this message to get more people involved in building the creative society, because we're in the first stage today, which is to inform people, talking to everyone, and then taking action. And when they ask us what to do, we've already mentioned that it's to unite all of us and let the scientists find a solution to this climate change. Yes, our first priority today is to make a difference, to really and literally survive. We also today would like to welcome Matusalen, and we would like to ask you about your impressions of this last global crisis conference. Tell us about it, please. Well, my experience, it's a great blessing to be in this creative society, and at the same time, it's interesting because it talked about the situation we're living today here in society, in the world, and it's interesting as we talked about what we're experiencing here in Mexico today about immigration from different countries. People practically come here to Mexico from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Haitians, and it's a very, very critical situation and humanitarian too. What's going on here in Mexico? What's going on and what's happened? It's not obviously going to be shown on television either. And so I like this community because it's a place where we can talk about everything what's going on in the world today. And the international conference is something very, very great because we learn about what's going on in the world today. It's a great blessing, really, to be able to attend this conference and also hear about what's going on in the world today.
Acerca de todo lo que está pasando hoy en día en el mundo, ¿no? Y la conferencia internacional es algo pues muy bonito porque estamos aprendiendo de lo que está pasando.
In this conference, we find out much more information about what is really going on in this world. So it's really a big thing to have this conference.
Sí, realmente hay muchos refugiados que
yes, there are really a lot of refugees from different countries coming through Mexico. And if you could tell us a little bit more about the current situation, what's going on, and for example, if this movement has increased, and if there are any solutions to that, and what kind of solutions? What is the situation in Mexico with migrants and refugees today?
¿Cómo está la situación en México con los migrantes, sí, los refugiados?
Yes, there is actually about 100,000 migrants in Mexico right now. Among them are Haitians, Guatemalans, Hondurans from different areas, from different countries, and from Latin America. And well, it's a very, very unpleasant situation because they move and move and move, they go and go, and they have almost no support from the government. Now it seems that migrants and refugees are already being given measures here in Mexico through programs sent by the United States government to the Mexican government. And they're implementing work programs for them to stay here in Mexico and work for some program or for some private company here in Mexico.
Sí, gracias. Entonces,
thank you. So you could say that a lot of them stay in Mexico, so as a result, they don't move on. Yes, most of them find shelter here in Mexico, and at the same time they are given permission to move from state to state. Chiapas, Veracruz, Oaxaca,
pueden
Puebla.
ir en transcurso en cualquier estado del país.
They can go at the rate of any state in the country, and almost most stay here in Mexico, in the states of the Republic of Mexico. And they are given jobs through projects that the federal government, in coordination with the United States government, is undertaking as part of the development of the employment program, so that they can work and support their needs here in the country.
Entonces, podemos ver que
So we see that today it's hard to get to any place where you would like to live, work, where you would like to find a better place and a better life. And as we said before, refugees are people who have almost no rights. They don't have much choice. They're left with what other people give them. And this situation is serious too, because you never know what your tomorrow is going to be like, especially if it's families and so on. And so we really understand that the only solution that we have today for all these problems and all the crises that we're in is to change the format, right? To change the format in which everyone can feel safe and also to be secure in their future, in their children's future, and so on. And that's the creative society. And so what do you think about changing the format, and what do we all need to come together and contribute to build a creative society? We definitely need a change right now. I mean, even yesterday, very quickly. It needs to be done not only because we are already seeing how many consequences we're pulling, and we see it in the climate. It manifests itself in a variety of social situations, and as we've seen, and as we've discussed today, and as we've also analyzed and seen at the conference, we need a solution now. And the only opportunity we have is creation, is creativity, is building the creative society. For this, we must all do together. It is not the business of individuals or individual groups. It's not the mission of some people. We must understand from the beginning that every person, all human beings on this planet are equal, and we have the same rights, and we have the same opportunities to live and have access to happiness, to develop as human beings. It is a right that is given and inherent in every human being. It is for every human being, and at some point it was lost. And now it is time for us to wake up. Many people already do it and realize that the only format to have is the creative society. We already know that the consumer format is not working because we are living all with the consequences of that format. Change comes from within, from yourself, starting with each of us and in helping others, our neighbors, our friends, our teachers, and everyone. It's something that touches all of us. It concerns all of us. It's something that involves all of us. And obviously, it's something we can and must come out all together in order to have the future.
Es la idea esencial, unirnos a todos, ¿sí?
Yes, this is the basic idea, to unite all of us, because, as you say, only together we can solve everything. We have such great potential as human beings, as humanity, and we can do so much together. And the first thing we have to do today is really come together to survive, to survive these climate changes, these disasters, so that there is no loss of life and loss of anything really. We could have done it much earlier, but well, we are where we are and we can still make a lot of difference by coming together. And if anyone watching us has any questions or doubts about the topics we discussed at the conference, and about the Creative Society project, we invite everyone to share their ideas and questions and email us at info@creativesociety.com, and we will try to respond as quickly as possible and together try to find answers to all the questions. Everyone is welcome. Thank you all so much for joining, our dear guests and viewers, everyone for making this all possible. Because really, what's happening today is something we've never seen in the history of humanity. We all ordinary people talk amongst ourselves about what is happening today and about the only solution, which is building a creative society. Thank you all very much, and let's build our world together. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much.